I am happy to welcome John Cheroske here to the studio. John, thanks for joining us. First, tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in Telluride.
I've been here since 1991, so 27 years, and been with the fire department, Telluride Fire Protection District, for 18 of those years, 7 as a volunteer and 11 full-time.
How'd you get involved in the fire department?
Just an interest in working as a volunteer originally. Started out that way, and I wanted to participate with the crew down in Placerville, where I've lived all this time, and just help out the community.
So as far as the fire protection district goes, what is the range of that? Where all do y'all protect?
So we cover 360, roughly, or 360 square miles in San Miguel County. We go from just below Norwood Hill, right in that area, up to Lizard Head Pass, and then obviously the end of Telluride and up into the hills behind the end of Telluride. So a large area. Dallas Divide is one of the dividing lines on Highway 62.
Okay. So I know that there have been a lot of wildfires in the region. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Well, as you know, we had a low snowpack year, and so that contributed to drier fuels and a little less green up than normal. And so with the drier fuels, lack of rain, and again that snowpack, the diminished snowpack, we've seen a little more fire activity than we have in the last couple of years. We also had some wet springs over the last few years, and we just didn't get that this year.
Just drier all around.
Drier all around, yeah.
In comparison to what you've seen in the past, how is this stacking up?
We're comparing it to 2012 and 2002, right in that general area. It hasn't hit the same thresholds that we hit in those years, but it's really close. The fires that we saw, like the Durango fire, Missionary Ridge, was 77,000 acres. The current 416 fire, which is burning at about the exact same time, is only 34,000 acres.
So that's significantly smaller.
It's a smaller fire. It's half the size. The fuels are drier, but not as dry from what we're seeing in our testing and from the Forest Service and all of our partners. We're not seeing the exact same levels as 2002 just yet.
Okay. And the other one that's close by is the Burrow fire, correct?
That's correct, at 3,400 acres.
How do you all manage bodies and people and protection for these, wildfires that are?
It's a complex system. When we get called out to a fire, we all have different roles in the fire. I'm a task force leader, also an incident commander on fires. And so on the Horse Park fire, I ran a task force on that, and I had hot shots and engines and helicopters and dozers underneath me. I did kind of the same job on the 416 fire.
Okay.
I had up to
tell
3
us
different
what
crews.
the hot shots do and what bulldozers are doing. Or people are like, are they bulldozing my house?
So it's developing a plan. We develop a plan on the way to try and prevent the fire from spreading or stopping the fire from hitting communities. And we utilize all the different tools that we have to do that. So a hotshot crew is a 20-man elite crew of firefighters, and they may go into the brush and cut hand lines or actually cut, similar to dozer lines with chainsaws. They widen out areas and create fire breaks. Dozers are a little more invasive, and we'll use dozer lines where we want to just strip it right down to the natural earth, and we'll use that to create the fire breaks. And then the engines, the fire engines that we have out there, usually support our operations in putting out the fire or supporting our operations when we burn and try and stop the fire with fire. And then they also work on the structure protection side of it too.
Yeah. As far as what's happening right now, what can people do here who are visiting, who are living here, just to make sure that they're preventing wildfires, being safe? And
the biggest thing is awareness. Our forest is a little bit different than the forest in Durango, but it doesn't mean that fires can't happen here. So being aware, if they're smoking, don't throw your butts out into the grass. Be aware of what's going on with your barbecues. Just be aware of your activities. If you're out camping, make sure you put that fire out. Use lots of water to put it out. As it goes for your houses and like preparing, always just have a plan in place. We have brochures that we hand out at the fire district, Ready, Set, Go brochures, and the West Region Wildfire Council also helps people get ready for fires. And so between the West Region Wildfire Council and then our Ready, Set, Go program, those give you ideas on what to pack and what to utilize around your house to get ready for a fire. Things that you can do around your house that help the firefighters when we show up. Simple as putting a garden hose hooked up to your spigot and leaving it out there, turning on your lights when you leave the house if you evacuate.
And I heard to close windows.
Close windows, yeah.
Turn off fans.
And all these things are outlined in the documents that we have at the district. They're also online at Ready, Set, Go. And like I say, the West Region Wildfire Council has a lot of this stuff too.
So I heard that the 4th of July fireworks have been canceled. Was that decision made today?
We made it last night. We had an officers meeting last night. The chiefs all sat down and we talked about it. And we looked at the fuel moistures, and I run fuel moisture testing in our forest.
Okay.
We looked at our fuel moistures and the conditions that they're currently in. And then we looked at the forecast and then worked with our partners, the Forest Service and the Division of Fire Prevention and Control, in speaking with our local fire management officers, looking at our fuel conditions and looking at the forecast. It was determined we just weren't going to do it.
But you will still have the barbecue, right?
We will still have the barbecue. Yep, we still got
Good.
the chicken coming in. That was ordered last night too.
Good. Nice. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for keeping everybody safe out there. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.